good evening to our guests in Canada and good morning to our attendees here in the Philippines. So, welcome. This is our webinar. This is the Study Healthcare in Canada with Universal Learning Institute. So, we are joined here today with our guest speakers, Ms. Linda Gabsy, the Senior Vice President at Universal Learning Institute, and we have Mr. Rodolfo Bueno, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. So, before we begin, I would like to ask our participants to type in the chat box their location here in the Philippines. So if you are from Batangas, if you are from Malabon, do let us know so that we can see your locations. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Then let's begin with our webinar. Okay, so the agenda for today is we will be talking about Canada, the immigration pathways, and the programs by Universal Learning Institute. Okay. So this is hosted by ACN Southern. We are partnered with ULI. So if this is your first time with ACN, let me introduce ourselves. So we are ACN Southern Immigration and Education Services, or ACN for short. We were established in 2005, and we are an immigration education consultancy firm. We do migration and study opportunities for 3 countries: Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. It's just easy to remember. It's ACN. All right. Now, this is the services that we offer, but for today, we'll be focusing on the study and work to immigrate for Canada. All right? Now, about Canada, so Canada is a country located in North America. You will find it above the United States of America. Canada is the world's second largest country with a total land area of 9.98 million square kilometers. Now, to give you then an idea of the comparison of Canada and the Philippines in terms of area, population size, and population density, Canada has this a very big land area. They have a population size of 37.7 million people, and they have about 4 people per square kilometer. So that is their population density. So it has a striking difference with our population here in the Philippines. All right. Now, you will see on your screens a map of Canada. So Canada has 10 territories and 10 provinces and 3 territories. So we have British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, where you will also find their capital, which is Ottawa. They also have Quebec, Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. And their 3 territories are Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. Okay. Interesting fact about Canada is they have 2 official languages. So they have English and they have French. All right. Now let me talk about the reasons why you should choose to study in Canada. So I hope I can convince you why Canada is the best country for international students. First of all, Canada has an outstanding quality of education. So they have 11 of the top 250 universities worldwide. Second is they have one of the lowest tuition fees among English-speaking countries. So they are cheaper compared to the US, UK, and Australia. Another reason is they are #1 in the quality of life rankings, and I believe they have been #1 for 5 years in a row. And they have 5 of the top 100 best student cities in the world. So it's a really great place for international students. It's one of the safest countries. So they have one of the lowest crime rates. This is thanks to fair justice system, strict gun control laws, and community policing. All right. So Canada has a diverse and multicultural society. So they have an official national policy of multiculturalism. So you won't be the only Filipino in Canada. There are a lot of immigrants and international students. You will be meeting a lot of people from different backgrounds. All right. Now, an important reason why a lot of students are choosing to study in Canada is because they can work while they study. So during while they are studying, they can work part-time, which is 20 hours per week. But during the scheduled school breaks, they can work full-time. All right. Okay, so even though you are still under a study permit in Canada, you can also bring your spouse and kids. So your partner is eligible for an open work permit, which allows them to work full time while you are studying, and your children can study for free. They can enroll at Canadian public schools. All right. So a lot of students are also choosing Canada because they have a lot of immigration possibilities, which will be talked about by our guest speaker for today. All right. Now, that is my part of the presentation. You can like ACN on Facebook. So we have webinars every week. So you can check our Facebook for our November schedule, and you can contact us. You can send an email to info@southernimmigration.com, and you can ask for a copy of the estimated expenses for the application. After this webinar, you will be contacted by one of our ACN consultants to do your one-on-one orientation. You can talk about your goals in Canada. You can talk about the process and the requirements, the steps to start your journey in Canada. So this can be done by phone call, Messenger, Zoom, Google Meet, and Skype. All right. Now, this is fairly new. We have a YouTube channel where we upload our recorded webinars. So you can check us out. We will also be uploading and recording this webinar on here. So if you want to go back and look at some more details, you can check our YouTube channel. So you can subscribe to us and click that notification button. All right. Now, for the immigration possibilities, I would like to call on and introduce to you Mr. Rodolfo Bueno, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. So, good evening, Mr. Rudy. How are you? Are you there?
Yes, good
Yes.
evening,
Yes. Thank you.
Be. So my name is Rodolfo Bueno, but they call me Rudy. So so I'd like to say good morning to all of you, and I'd like to thank ACN for inviting me to this webinar, and also Linda of ULI. So I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. So I'm based in Vancouver, British Columbia. And as an RCIC, I'm authorized to represent students on your study permit applications. So with this program of study in Canada, this will open tons of opportunities for you to become permanent residents in Canada. Aside from the opportunity of course, getting a world-class education, plus the opportunity to work, gain a Canadian work experience, which eventually you will use to be eligible for permanent residency in Canada. So as an RCIC, I'm authorized to represent you in your study permit, work permit applications, provincial nomination, sponsorship, up to citizenship application. So you will be, once you hire the services of ACN, then you'll be confident that even if you are here in Canada, there's somebody who will be giving you support, immigration advice while you are here, while you're studying, or while you are working, and maybe eventually become permanent residents in Canada. So at the end of this webinar, I believe there will be a question and answer portion, which I will be more than willing to answer all your immigration related questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rudy. So we will be sending you our questions. So the participants right after this presentation, we will have our question and answer. So you can write your questions in the chat box, and then we will be giving your answers live. All right. So moving on, I would like to introduce Miss Linda Gabsy, the Senior Vice President at Universal Learning Institute. So hi, Miss Linda. How are you?
Hi there. Thank you so much for having us this morning for you, this evening for me, as I sit in beautiful British Columbia. I'm here to share the full range of what Universal Learning Institute can offer you and your clients, um, at, focusing specifically on our healthcare division as requested. So would like to introduce Marco. Marco is my assistant tonight. The sound went off on my computer, and so he is actually showing the PowerPoint, and hopefully our timing will work well. So let's try together, and please be patient if I kind of mess up a little bit. So Marco, let's go on we'll move forward. First, I'll tell you a little about us. We were founded in 1996. And we're focused on providing support and training for over 26 years now. We've earned every single government designation required, and we have third-party accreditations and certifications so that where you choose to go in Canada can be recognized. The wonderful picture you're looking at is some of our strong team. Now, some of you really don't know Canada, and some of you will, but I thought I'd give you, this is too long a guide, so I'm going to cut it off after a bit, but I wanted to give you a taste of what Vancouver looks like. So our campus is right downtown. This is a typical view of downtown Vancouver. So Marco, you can start this.
Wherever you roam in Vancouver, the salty sea breeze carries the fresh scents of the forest and the promise of adventure. Its welcoming neighborhoods are filled with the aromas of incredible cuisines, roasting coffee beans, brewers' hops, and all the urban delights you'd expect from a city which is regularly voted the world's most livable. The secret to Vancouver's success is that it has always been developed with livability in mind. Ever since European settlement only 150 years ago, the people of Vancouver have protected the rivers, coastline, and forest, maintaining the perfect balance between nature and the built environment. And there's no finer example than the city's pride and joy, Stanley Park, which dates all the way back to 1886. Because Stanley Park spans more than 1,000 acres, you can return over and over again and always discover something new. To get to the park, simply cycle or walk along the century-old seawall from the nearby downtown area. The wall not only keeps the sea at bay, but ensures Vancouver's waterfront is accessible to everyone. Water has always played a major role in this port and river city. Watch ships come and go from Brockton Point, where a lighthouse marks the easternmost tip of Stanley Park, or from the viewing platform at Prospect Point on the park's northern tip. The coastal First Nations people are seafarers too, having paddled to these misty shores over 17,000 years ago. In the Museum of Anthropology at the University of British Columbia, totems and sculptures depict the rich mythologies of the Haida people and the other indigenous tribes of the North. The modern city takes its name from the British navigator George Vancouver, who landed here in 1792. The original settlement, however, was called Gastown. In 1867, Gassy Jack, a sailor and renowned storyteller, convinced local timber cutters to build him a saloon in exchange for all the whiskey they could drink in one sitting. No one knows who got the best end of the deal, but a tavern was quickly erected.
Okay, Marco, that's enough. Thank you. We can move on to the next. I'm not a tour guide, but I wanted to give you a taste of Vancouver so you know what you would be coming to. So what can we offer you besides the beautiful scenery? We offer both regulated and non-regulated healthcare programs. We make sure you have the right certification for the healthcare position you are eligible for. And our teachers are all people with field experience, so you will be getting people who know what you need for the workplace. Keep going. Okay. So what all of this is reflected in our mission statement to provide a customized learning opportunity so you can expand your career choices in a very positive, flexible format. We'll help you with the planning and implementation of whichever pathway you choose in your goal to become a nurse in Canada. How can we get you here? We get you here with Rudy's help, of course, but because we have the right certification. So EQA, Education Quality Assurance, is through the Ministry of Advanced Education. We've been certified since 2010 and we're ready to roll. Next. We have a Tier 1 designation with the Ministry of Advanced Education Private Institutes branch. Those of you who may have family and friends here, this designation allows people here who are PR or citizens to obtain government financial aid, and they don't have to pay for any courses. Why am I telling you all this? Because this combination of designated symbols gives us the right for a DLI number. This DLI is through Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada. It's a point of great pride for us, and that's how we are allowed to welcome you to ULI.
ULI, I love you! Welcome to Universal Learning Institute. I'm proud to be part of an organization that has been offering excellence in education since 1996.
This is an amazing school.
We have great instructors here.
Really helpful for my career here.
I'm the nursing instructor here at ULI. Our nursing program is designed specifically for internationally educated nurses who wants to become a nurse here in Canada. We have courses that will help students to prepare them for the CELVAN exam, healthcare assistance, NCAS, as well as the NCLEX RN registration exam. Our students are coming from different countries and they have a great opportunity to learn the diverse culture in Canada while learning and understanding the current nursing Canadian practice.
I'm studying nursing. Having different schoolmates and school administrators of different cultural backgrounds here in the ULI is both enriching and still welcoming.
This is really nice college.
Really
friendly. Come try Universal Learning Institute.
We are here to offer you long-term and short-term career planning. Get a job and keep a job with the most current skills, all certified through the Ministry of Advanced Education through the Private Training Institute branch. Look for our website and come in and visit.
Okay. Along with the energy and excitement that we have naturally, internally and externally, we have pathway opportunities. Some of these are public universities, some of them are private. All of these universities offer an opportunity to earn a postgraduate work permit when you choose to take the pathway program. Rudy will work closely with you. We work with him and we will ensure if you choose this pathway that you meet the right entrance requirements. So what are our programs? Our programs run from 2 years to 1 year to 6 months, some with co-op, some without co-op. The choice is yours. The plan is yours. Every one of our faculties offers every one of our programs and certifications in these different qualities. Some are certificates and some are diplomas. Today I'll be talking about diplomas, healthcare diplomas. I just want to give you a very quick overview of what ULI offers. This is all our faculties. ESL overlaps all of them because you have to meet a certain English level, not only for immigration, but for licensing in the healthcare services. We offer business administration, global trade and marketing, accounting, and hospitality and tourism. Keep going, Marco. Okay, thank you. They all come with third-party certifications that I won't bore you. You'll be able to read about it when we send out our flyers. So let's keep going. Today, we are here specifically for healthcare in Canada. And you need to understand in Canada, we have two systems of nursing. There's regulated and non-regulating. They're both in the healthcare industry. The regulated, it includes registered nurse, licensed practical nurse, and healthcare assistant. The non-regulated would be the medical office assistant and caregivers. Many international educated nurses often go to the non regulated first until they bring their English skills up. People from the Philippines don't need to do that because your English is generally high enough to get right into the program. So, if you want to be a nurse in a regulated industry, there will be 5 steps you need to follow. This portion you're looking at now is a separate webinar that we do over a 2-hour period. It takes time to explain the steps you need to do so you are successful with your registration and can perhaps challenge some exams in some provinces. It all is based on what your current education is. So what does regulated mean in Canada? In Canada, it means it's controlled by a provincial or territorial law. On occasion, it's federal, but it's usually provincial. Not every province has agreements with every other province, so we help you plan your study that wherever you choose to settle, we'll have a reciprocal agreement for you. It often means it's governed by a regulating body, and there's nothing we can do other than do exactly as they say. And we follow all 10 provinces and territories to ensure you're ready. In Canada, in a regulated industry, the law requires that you have a certificate and license. You can't just call yourself a nurse because you feel like it or because you came from another country. It's a law requirement that you get the right license for the right level. Okay. So don't let me frighten you because there's also the non-regulated path you can take. And that would be caregiver and MOA. So those of you who don't have diplomas or degrees or haven't studied nursing but are working as caregivers right now can still come to Canada. You don't need a license. You don't need to prove an English level. You just need to have some type of experience so you will qualify for the study permit. Again, Rudy will help with this. Caregiver particularly has a very unique pilot project for immigration, and I'll leave that to Rudy to explain to you. So what are your English requirements? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you study and how many tests you pass, you're going to have to meet the English requirement to get your license. Without your license, you cannot practice. So that is why we start with English first to ensure you meet standard. Registered nurse LPN, quite high. You can see IELTS 7.5. In some areas, 6.5 is the lowest. It's pretty high. Next one. Now, healthcare assistant is different. And it's different because you must be at this standard before you start to study. For registered nurse or practical nurse, you can be at 5 when you start as long as you reach the standard within 12 months. So we accept people at 5. So don't worry if one of your scores are slightly below what they are asking for. We have an IELTS specialist on board and it'll be part of your training package to ensure you meet that standard. So let me do a quick review so you get an idea of what we are prepared to offer. Under regulated, this will be mostly people with certificates or degrees, and it could be people with zero background for the healthcare assistant, but we'll go further into that when we break off into subgroups at another webinar. So the healthcare assistant program is eligible for an accelerated upgrade to LPN and the postgraduate work permit. To become a healthcare assistant is only 8 months, but then you need 600 hours of work experience to get the accelerated upgrade to licensed practical nurse. We provide all of that for you with work experience, and it's usually about an additional 4 or 5 months. The postgrad nursing certification, you must be a registered nurse in your home country right now. It's approximately 13 months of study to prepare you for the exams and NCAS National competency assessment service, and NCLEX. These are key components. You also may need to do some upgrades based on what your education is on the Philippines. And NNAS, National Nursing Assessment Service, will determine that. We're here as a support service to ensure you need as little as possible. But we don't make those decisions. We just help you. You have to send in your paperwork. It comes with a full co-op as well. That one is 700 hours. The non-regulated medical office assistant is an 8-month program, and you can be working right away. There is a shortage in Canada, and caregiver is a dream come true for people who are truly caregivers. It's a very quick and easy way to earn your PR, and I'll let Rudy talk to that. He's our specialist. Okay, so let me do another quick overview so you can see prices and you can see time again. Let's go for the non-regulated first and get that out of the way. The caregiver program is an intensive program. We take it seriously. Many of our caregiver students move to the healthcare assistant program after working a few months, because being a caregiver is significant labor in Canada, but people do enjoy it. We have what's called NOC codes, National Occupational Codes, and these are the type of jobs that's listed under this NOC code, as well as specialists in working with children or working with people with medical needs. The average salary is about $18 an hour. Which is pretty good. Minimum wage in BC right now, I think, is about $14.25. I didn't prepare for that, but I think that's what it is. This program is 11 months. We're currently doing it online during the COVID-19 period. We have a supervised lab which has been approved online as well. And admissions requirement is quite easy. Okay. For ACN clients, we have knocked it down. 17,000 is the normal price. We're down to 9,980 Canadian dollars. Remember, the Canadian dollar is significantly lower than the American. So just keep that in mind when you're calculating how much. Medical office assistant is, there's also a shortage in Canada, and people with second language, like most of you probably have, are more than welcome. There is a large Filipino population, especially in Richmond, parts of Surrey, parts of Burnaby, and East Vancouver. And all the doctor offices often look for people with Philippine experience. Okay. Average salary is about $19 an hour in that field. Okay. And this is all 8 months. Same thing. It's online, 100% online now. The actual work experience component can only be done live and only when places are open. So that may be delayed. We've made arrangements for extensions of visas if we're waiting. We currently had a group of nurses where we had to extend 100% of their visas because they could not go to work. Okay, next. So now we're going to what most of you are going to want. This is the postgraduate nursing program. It comes with a full co-op, and sometimes we duplicate the co-op because you get different certifications as you go. This program starts with the healthcare assistant, then the LPN or RN, whatever you choose. In Canada, registered nurse is the highest level of nursing. Then there's a licensed practical nurse. Then there's the healthcare assistant. This is in the hospitals and in accredited institutions. If you are a registered nurse currently, this is the program you're going to go into, because this is the one you will still get your healthcare license quickly, because you will earn what internationally educated nurses are entitled to, a shorter healthcare aid program. And get your license, so you're 20 hours a week, can be in the healthcare field, and you can get familiar with Canadian standard very, very quickly. Okay. So the program duration is 1427, it's about 13 months, plus there'll be another 700 hours for co-op. It's also online. There's a supervised lab of 160 hours, and then the work experience co-op of 700. So I would say to you, in our experience, the hands-on labs portion is quite important. So we've done it online for the last few months. The nurses we had were really skilled. They're all writing exams now, so I don't have results yet. I don't want to be in a position of saying it works or doesn't work until we really see the results. So I'll let you know. But either way, the study permits are opening, and by January, the border should be open. So we'll welcome you whenever you're ready. This is on special promotion price. Can you go back one? Okay. Because also only for ACN, you have to register before December 31st and have a start date no later than March 31st to qualify for this reduced price. It's a great opportunity. Now, this is the other dream come true, healthcare assistant diploma. It's a professional nursing designation. People who are registered nurses find this quite easy. Although we have to remember all testing marks entry-level skills. So we often have to remind you, lower your knowledge to pass what you need to pass. For this particular program, there are two streams, one for people who are internationally educated nurses and one for people with zero healthcare background. So those of you without diplomas, degrees, or whatever in healthcare, don't worry. You can still come to our school. We will still make sure you meet standards, and you can start from zero. Okay. This program is 8 months. It's highly, highly regulated. We have zero room for flexibility. The healthcare aid registry is very, very strict. The classroom hours right now are instructor-led, 400 hours. The supervised lab is 78 hours, and we can do that online as well. The practice education is in hospital settings, and you have to be here to do that in order to get your license. We cannot do that any other way. Our next intake is January 11th. The one after that is going to be March 29th. Okay. From this program, you can take a pathway to accelerated LPN. After only 13 months, you then become a licensed practical nurse, which is a higher level. The registered nurses in Canada right now are getting bumped up and getting closer to nurse practitioner level. And the LPNs are now taking the duties of many of the registered nurses, and the healthcare assistants are moving up. That's one of the reasons the salaries are escalating the way they are. Okay, these admission requirements for the healthcare assistant program are the requirements of the healthcare aid registry. You need proof of grade 10. You need to meet those English language proficiencies before you start. You can come to ULI without meeting these standards, and we will do the prerequisite courses with you and get you in. This too is on promotion right now for ACN, and because of this webinar, you have to register before December 31st and start no later than March 31st. We can add a co-op as well. Okay, that's okay. So let's review this whole pathway to the postgraduate work permit, because that's one of the things of most interest, and that's one of the areas that Rudy actually does specialize in. So you're going to start with the healthcare assistant program at ULI, plus do the 600 hours paid work experience co-op. A healthcare assistant is often a unionized job, and you can expect to earn anywhere from $25 to $35 an hour, depending on the institution. It's quite very much in demand now, especially during COVID. We transfer you to our partner university called Coast Mountain College. They offer this accelerated LPN program. Those of you not prepared to go into LPN, those of you who have chosen caregiver or something else, can also take advantage of a pathway we've created, and that's through the social work program. So social work is 2 years, accelerated LPN is 1 year. And we'll go into further details when we go into our breakout groups and know your area of interest. Okay. So let me just review that because I know it's complicated. Get your healthcare license with ULI, study 8 months, then transfer for 13 months to a public college, earn your postgraduate work permit. In reality and in honesty, our last session, and I don't know if this was because of COVID, almost 100% were sponsored by institutions and hired and never needed to take advantage of this pathway. And Rudy too will explain that pathway for you. Our 2-year social work program works exactly the same way. So why am I telling you so much about this pathway to Coast Mountain? The main reason is the right for the postgraduate work permit, should you decide you want to stay in Canada longer. The dual letter of acceptance that is part of our agreement means you're getting a conditional letter of acceptance from a public institution and a much, much higher approval study permit rate, okay? If you're short of English, do not worry. The partnership agreement includes recognition of our English division and our IELTS score. We have English for academic purposes, and they recognize our program. Okay, so why would you come to ULI? Our flexible schedules, our professional instructors, the small class sizes, and most important, the prior learning recognition. Where you have your strengths, you can handle on your own. Where the weaknesses in terms of testing requirements, licensing requirements, we work hard to make you meet the standard. Okay. We also have a guarantee, and the guarantee is every class you take, as long as you participate, show up, do your homework, you can take again if you feel you need it to pass. This does not apply to the English division because English improvement will be determined by how much effort you put in, and we really cannot do much more than help you do the best you can do. Okay, for the work experience component, we find your placement not for your 20-hour-a-week open work permit where you can work anywhere, including McDonald's. I'm talking about your co-op work placement. We find that for you and ensure it matches your program of study. The advantage to you is you get hands-on Canadian experience and build confidence in working in Canada. You learn our cultural context of the labor market. You get the practice of being interviewed and chosen for a particular place. And most important, you get a current reference letter. That's our agreement with all our job placements. These 2 students were from the Philippines. Joella is our star. She actually is an RN right now and when she joined us, she said, oh, I'll only do healthcare aid. I really don't want to work so hard. I'll only do healthcare aid. She is a registered nurse in Canada and working. We also have Jerome. Jerome has gone the LPN route, started with healthcare aid also, and is now LPN certified and working. So these 2 videos now, are them talking to a group of students, new students who came from India, And so it's a little bit long, and we'll cut it off after you get a little bit of a feel of what they have to say about their experience.
January of 2017. 5 or 6 months after that, that's when only we decided to take the HCA pathway. So why? Because we realized that RN registration is a long process. So we wanted another pathway, a shorter one, surer one, and then that's why we took the HCA registration. So we prepared like only a month with Christina, and then took the exam. Luckily, it's positive exam. They don't say pass or fail, right? They just assess you and then look on areas where you lack and then give you some education, like refresher or courses, short courses, to for you to be able to reach that standard that they are looking for. So I did that and then got the license, the registration around October of 2017. But so what happened is that I decided not to take the co-op, because what my plan is, I have to take the co-op when I have my RN registration, because I have to stay here longer. Okay, even Linda and Mushira and Navtip is agreeable with that decision of mine. So I did not take the co-op. What I did was continue with my RN pathway, because that's my goal, right? Well, you can have other goals. RN and LPN, we're all nurses. They're just different in like.
Okay, Marka, we can go on to Jerome because she goes on a bit longer, and we know that she did reach that goal.
Oh, I feel that I'm really nervous. It feels like I'm having a speaking test. I just last night I was contemplating, and I just had an outline so that I not forget what I want to say. I am really thrilled and humbled to be here standing in front of you. Please allow me to start by expressing my sincerest thanks to the ULI team. You said team, right? So to the president, Mr. Dennis, Linda, Mashira, our teacher, advisor. Thank you so much, Christina, and also to the our secretary here. Thank you so much for the continued support. I want to say that my heart goes to those who didn't pass their exams. I exactly know how it feels. So I just want to say that there's more to life. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. When I came here January 2017, it was completely different country, different world. I don't know what to do. I am completely lost. But then when I met Christina, it was February 7, 2017. I can vividly remember the day. She wrote the plans. What you need to plot your plans, right? Your pathways. I can still remember that.
Okay, Marco, that's enough. So the reason for sharing this is to specifically share that we're here to support your individual plans. It is not easy to become a regulated nurse in Canada. We're not underestimating the trauma and hard work it is to leave home, leave your family, come here. So to help you, we have connected with several Filipino community groups, churches, grocery stores, community centers, to ensure when you get here, you are not isolated, that you have a helping hand. And with Rudy, he has his own network as well. And between us, you will be taken care of and not have to go through what these two young people did. These resources were not in place for them. Okay. For your information, Jerome was extremely successful. He got his LPN. He's working. He's in Ontario right now and really happy. Okay. Um, did we miss a slide before? Okay. We will have a question and answer period, but I'm just going to go quickly. ACN is going to help you with the registration process. Um, we'll fill in a general application form. We have agreed, instead of a 50% tuition and fee deposit, which is what we have for all our international students, for ACN clients, it'll be $3,275 deposit for your letter of acceptance. If you do not earn your study visa, everything but $275 is returned. If you do get it, it's applied to your program. Okay, so it's quite a simple process. We've done our best to sharpen our pencils to encourage you to come to Canada. We need you. I'm going to say one great big thank you. The team is here on the side. I'm Linda. Mushera is our Director of Student Services. And you'll probably, yes, you see her in the middle picture in the red sweater on the bottom. This is our nursing class and our hospitality class. We had a Christmas party last year. So it's nice to see the diversity, and it's nice to see people from all over the world.